Your empty bank account is not a mystery. It is a symptom of a financial strategy that no longer matches the 2026 economic reality. I know exactly how it feels to stare at a $0 balance on your phone and wonder where it all went while student loan debt, medical inflation, and the high cost of housing eat your future before you even get a chance to live it. In 2026, the landscape is shifting rapidly because automation and AI are redefining what it means to be productive, which means the old, safe paths our parents followed are disappearing. You should not act because you are doomed. You should act because the opportunity for wealth is shifting toward those who own their time and their systems. The sources point out a hard truth that many find difficult to accept. Nearly 7 out of 10 of the wealthiest people in the world today did not rely on a massive inheritance. They built their net worth starting from zero or even a deep hole by changing their habits before the world changed around them. If you want to stop keeping up with the Joneses into bankruptcy, you must stop following the broken scripts that keep you broke and start understanding the mechanics of self-made success today. The first major shift involves how you value your most non-renewable resource, which is your time. A key rule for your 20s and 30s is to save money when you are broke but protect your time once you are stable. Most people stay stuck in the middle class because they invest their time just to save a few dollars, whereas the wealthy invest their money to buy back their time. The sources describe a scenario where someone might travel to the other side of town or wait in a massive line just to get something a few dollars cheaper. Think about a freelancer named Sarah who spends 4 hours of her Saturday driving to 3 different stores just to save $15 on groceries. If Sarah's work is worth $50 an hour, she did not actually save $15, she now spent $200 worth of her potential value to get that tiny discount. She effectively paid a massive premium for the privilege of sitting in traffic and walking through crowded aisles. While we all have to watch every penny when we are starting out, the moment your situation allows for it, you must stop feeling guilty about buying back your hours. Whether it is paying for convenience at the nearest store or hiring someone to handle tasks like mowing the lawn, washing the car, or fixing a leaky pipe, self-made individuals realize that outsourcing these chores buys them the mental space to develop new projects or side hustles that actually move the needle on their financial stability. Once you stop wasting your time on low-value tasks, you have to master a specific measurable metric, your savings rate. Most people operate on a spend and save model where they pay their bills, buy their daily Starbucks or brunch, and then try to save whatever is left over. Self-made millionaires flip this equation entirely. They invest a fixed portion of what they gain before they spend a single cent on anything else, and then they live on the remainder. The sources use the example of a carpenter starting a workshop with only a hammer, 2 screwdrivers, and a saw. In the beginning, it is acceptable and even recommended to use the basic tools you have on hand. However, if that carpenter is still using those same basic hand tools 2 years later instead of investing his profits into power tools that increase his quality and speed, something is wrong. He is plateauing his own growth by choosing short-term spending over long-term development. You do the same when you ignore the most powerful tax-efficient tools available in the US today, like the 401k match and the Roth IRA. If your employer offers a match, that is a 100% immediate return on your money that you are leaving on the table. By utilizing a Roth IRA, you are putting in after-tax dollars now so that every cent of that growth is tax-free in the future. The math of consistency hits harder than any get-rich-quick scheme. If you earn $1,000 and automate a 20% investment, you are living on $800. As your skills grow and you start bringing home $1,200, that same 20% investment becomes $240, and your lifestyle still gets an upgrade because you now have $960 for expenses. If you invest just $200 a month into S&P 500 index funds at an 8% average return, you could see over $300,000 in 30 years. Now, the market will always have its ups and downs, and your portfolio will fluctuate, but the biggest risk in 2026 is not a market dip, it is staying on the sidelines while inflation eats your cash. Before you go all in on aggressive growth, ensure you have an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of expenses parked in a HYSA, high-yield savings account, to act as your financial safety net. This prevents you from falling into the 72-month car loan trap or relying on high-interest credit cards when life happens. By living on a fixed percentage and thinking long-term, you ensure you are only eating a small portion of the cake today so you can buy more ingredients to bake a much larger cake next year. Even the best financial plan is useless if you are stuck in analysis paralysis. Many of us are addicted to the feeling of learning. We watch endless finance videos and read every book on the shelf, but we never actually take action. The sources suggest that successful people have a bias for action, meaning they implement what they learn immediately and analyze the results later. You can be wrong, but you cannot afford to be in doubt. We rarely feel guilty about the things that did not work out as planned, but we almost always feel the weight of the things we never did because we were scared of failure. Among successful people, it is common to find something interesting in a book, stop reading immediately, and try to implement it in their life or business. They only postpone action if the implementation requires massive capital that they do not yet have. Knowledge cannot replace practice. It is like trying to lose weight just by watching people work out on the internet or reading recipes. You want to be sure of success before you act, but you will never be prepared enough. It is much more effective to learn as you go. Open a brokerage account this week and invest your first $50. If you want to be a writer, stop studying every technique and start writing daily and publishing it on a blog or social media. The public's feedback will tell you exactly where you need to improve. If you want to be an athlete, stop watching highlights and start training alongside others so the results can speak for themselves. As you move from individual success to actually scaling your income, you have to kill the solopreneur ego that tells you nobody can do the job as well as you can. This mindset is the single greatest barrier to growth for any small business or side hustle. If you are doing everything yourself, from high-level strategy to the most basic admin work, you are not an entrepreneur, you are just an overworked employee of your own ego. Self-made millionaires understand that their time and energy are limited, so they seek out people who are actually better than them at specific tasks. While finding a committed team and building support can be a tedious and demanding process in the short term, it is the only way to ensure that your work continues to move forward even if you get sick or decide to go on a vacation. We have to be honest about our own limitations and understand that to have true success, we need others. The most successful people are leaders that others actually want to follow, and being a good leader is a skill that you can learn with practice. Finally, you must move away from making vague wishes and toward building a data-driven roadmap. Simply saying I want to be rich or I want to pay off my student loans is not a plan, it is just a dream. Your chances of success skyrocket when you create a long-term goal and connect it to a specific daily action. The sources use the example of someone weighing 90 kilograms with a goal of reaching 78 kilograms in a year. A year is a long term, so you divide that goal into monthly targets of losing 1 kilogram per month. To reach that goal, you need a strategy. Perhaps you decide to eat exactly 2,400 calories a day and exercise for 15 minutes before you go to sleep. You track your progress, you weigh yourself, and if the data shows you are not moving toward the goal, you adjust your strategy. Finance works exactly the same way. You need a long-term vision combined with a daily plan that allows you to measure your results. Without measurement, you cannot know if you need to change your strategy or stay the course. This will not make you rich overnight, but it works if you stick to it. You do not need a perfect plan today, you just need a starting point. Choose one of the habits we have discussed, whether it is protecting your time, automating your 20% investment, or finally moving from learning to executing, and put it into practice until it becomes a permanent part of your identity. The opportunity in 2026 is shifting toward those who are disciplined and data-driven. The time for watching from the sidelines is over, the time for building is now. Let us know in the comments which habit you are starting today as you build your own blueprint for success.